Alright. What's up? Let's go. It is time for a big old PvT series, and we've got two very creative players clashing. So I'm very excited to see what the hell goes on when you have Alpha X ASTREA down here in the bottom left, one of the most creative Protosses and one of the best players in North America, up against a Korean beast, a GSL champion from 2017, recently returning from the military and looking in fine form. It's Storm's GUMIHO. Now, GUMIHO opening up with a rather straightforward opening at Barracks Gas, so this looks pretty chilled out and normal for him. And his PvT is probably his most quote-unquote normal matchup. But what I find interesting is he does lack in the late game really badly. And I think that just speaks to the fact that GUMIHO was away during, what, late 2019, 2020, 2021? Kind of the time where I feel late game play got more fleshed out than it's been in a long time. So he does flail a bit at that stage, but holy crap is his early to mid game good. And he's exceptionally powerful at just kind of controlling the game when he can. Now this is Reaper into Reactor. He's one of the few players who does skip the Marine after the Reaper. Now of course that delays any factory, but he's going to be going multiple barracks play. That does make sense. GUMIHO's a big fan of mass Marine early on. He really likes going for Marine heavy plays, and his transition into Marauders is way slower than for other players. We've got Adepts coming out right now, Stargate starting up as well. Prove does try to pull back. GUMIHO not trying to confirm the kill. He says, yeah, not worth losing the Reaper, dude. Now that Adept hides on the high ground there. That Reaper could have gone around and jumped back, but by denying the information, it becomes a very dangerous move for GUMIHO. That's exactly why ASTREA did it that way now. Looks like he's just going to back on off. Doesn't want to lose this Reaper, as I said, so does take another hit, but ooh, just barely gets out of range of that third one to finish it. Now we've got that second and third barracks coming up. No engineering bay and no bunker, so both of those being skipped so far. And this is up against a Phoenix play from ASTREA, and you can see he's already rallied his Phoenix into the main to see what he's up against. And that's what I like to do with my Phoenix play as well. Now, interesting, guys, he's going straight Robo after that, which means he will not be able to afford to chrono boost his first few Phoenix out. However, it sets him up really well for quick Colossus. And Phoenix Colossus is the perfect style to counter GUMIHO. As I said, GUMIHO likes to go mass Marine, really Marine heavy. Phoenixes will stop him from dropping you, and then the Colossus coming out early will laser them down. And already double gas on the natural here for ASTREA at just 12, 13 workers on this expansion. So he's basically saying 2 base for life, let's tech on up. Big thanks, Memor there. Much love for the support, mate. And the Phoenix going around. We've got a Reaper there diving in circles around this main base. Ooh, juicy fart coming out.
I want you to know I have a 69-month resub that I will not use. FDG and ASTREA.
Fear Dragon 69. Thank you so much for the 500 biddy cheer. 69-month resub that I will not be using. So guys, we forgot to turn those alerts off. The rest of them that come through will replay during the breaks in between the games so that we don't disturb our lovely YouTube audience watching this at a later date. If you're watching on YouTube, spoiler alert, means this was probably a pretty damn fun series. Usually we do only pick the best ones from the live stream to get up over there, so hopefully it will be a bit of fun, or at least some interesting strategies. The Marine pressure now coming on out for GUMIHO. 15 Marines with stim and shields about to kick in. Engineering bay is only now starting upgrades, so that won't be ready in time. And the Phoenix are just going to pick up the rally. The question is, guys, where is the Colossus? Holy crap, his Robo Bay is so late. Oh, Jesus. He's got 3 Adepts and a Sentry? I mean, this is only 15 Marines, but still, this is really bad for ASTREA. And he chrono boosted out an Observer of all things. His Colossus is really late. He has messed up his build order. He's only got 2 gateways. He should have been chronoing his warp gates, I believe. Luckily for him, running into a choke point is very scary, but I think GUMIHO can just work his range because there's no stalkers in here, man. Battery overcharge comes in. Oh, good force field. That splits the Marines up, and with the battery overcharge, you can see he picks off a lot of these Marines. So a very good hold by ASTREA. Now more Marines are coming across, but the Phoenix can start picking them away, and I think at this point it's going to become very inefficient if he just keeps on rallying Marines across. As long as the Phoenix do actually hit that rally, which they let those Marines get across all right. Now the Colossus is on the way. That does need to be chrono boosted quite desperately. And he does see all these Marines arrive, but ASTREA's now got an Immortal, a few Zealots in there as well. There's no battery overcharge. Oh, Jesus. Uh-oh, he's got to fight. Oh my God, ASTREA should have gone out to fight that. Big mistake to not do so. On the other hand, he's picking off a lot of Marines. I mean, units lost tab looks good for the Protoss player, but there's a third on the way, on location. Non-stop units building 4th and 5th barracks as well. Oh, ouchies. Does lose a Phoenix there. That's not what you want. And he's building 2 more Robos. as well as the Twilight. So he's going to try and catch up on that Colossus and Disruptor tech in the near future is ASTREA. He's going to take a third on the other side. I think he wanted to take the triangle on the left, but because the Marines were there, he's decided to pull away. Now this SCV going down on location is a bit of a bummer. If I was GUMIHO, I might even pull another SCV just in case that one goes down. And I'd try to spread these Marines maybe on both sides. Right now though, very good production. You've got medevacs on the way. The first two are already out and healing. And I gotta say, it definitely feels better for GUMIHO in terms of economy. It's just about, will he get Vikings out early enough? And I feel like, hey, you've got 4 medevacs. Start Vikings right now, and you're in a good spot to overwhelm the Phoenix and then the Colossus as they come down. He's going to throw a turret down on the edge there. Definitely against this Phoenix count. Getting a few turrets to keep them back can help you. But look at that. Does present an SCV. Nice easy pick off there for ASTREA, who's still looking. He's trying to get in. He'd like to kill the medevacs, but notice he's spamming his clicks underneath to stack those Phoenix on top of each other. Does get another SCV. He's being very annoying. And he's got his third base up, both gases. Notice he's been building probes this whole time. So even though he lost the Nexus, he's going to be able to instantly saturate the third base now that it is up. And with his first 2 Colossus, range and charge on the way, ASTREA is getting ready to be kind of well set up for the next big frontal fight. For him though, GUMIHO on the other hand, goes across. I think he did go through the observer vision. So ASTREA should try to get home if he can. Oh, he finds both medevacs. Wow, that's huge. 9 SCVs and some medevacs. This army is also very small over here. For some reason, there is a repairing SCV with the push. I think he accidentally brought it, and now he's like, hey, you might as well stay there. GUMIHO's going to dive that left side. There is a recall available, but what does he even recall? This army on the right side is not that big. I think he should recall it, to be fair, but a few Zealots warping in and a Colossus. Charge is not quite ready just yet. Oh, great pickups. Did you guys see? He picked up the Marauders. He realized the Marines weren't a threat to the Colossus, so he said, look, as long as I pick up the Marauders, we should be okay. Colossus. Oh no, he's going to lose the Colossus. One more Marauder hit. Oh, and Gumi targets it. At the same time, Gumi runs in behind the third, loses some units. He does drop in behind the natural. Now, even though he gets the Colossus, I think GUMIHO's throwing away a few too many units. I think ASTREA came into this series very well prepared for this particular opponent. And we're seeing it now as, ooh, those Phoenix are out of lift, so these Marines are going to deny some mining. But ASTREA's re-establishing position very, very well. He's got 2 Colossus. He's about to have a second Immortal in here as well to help deal with the Marauders as they run forward. And he's still got that forward observer that's giving him so much info. Now, he's only on 2 gateways, so he's going to build 6 gateways all at once. He's got +2 upgrading also. His 5 Phoenix. I think he's going to need to make Blink, because you see how he's not building Phoenix anymore? I think he's saying, it's kind of past the point in the game where Phoenix is going to be super effective. Let's kind of swap it out into the Blink. And yeah, there we go. Blink does start up. Second Forge as well. Securing a 4th base is going to be something ASTREA's kind of has to go for. Because this game's been slowed down, remember, both players' main bases are mining out, guys. You can see these mineral patches all about to exhaust in the main. They've already ran out for ASTREA, who's been a bit better at saturating that main base. And as a result, I think that 4th base unlocking is so important. Because otherwise, what are your probes doing? Well, oversaturated main, oversaturated natural. And GUMIHO also realizing a quick 4th would help him out, so he drops that on location. DT Shrine is on the way. Right now, +2 attack coming in, so very similar upgrades. Just a slight advantage in the armor for GUMIHO, who's already got that one ahead. Zealot run by, but Ghosts and a Widowmine could do well with micro, and indeed they do. Look at that, great micro, and a good pullback by ASTREA to not just blindly throw those Zealots away. They will back off. Now, still, I don't think we have any Vikings, guys, so the first 2 Vikings are just about to come out. There is a second starport building. But interesting, ASTREA didn't double down on the Colossus. Remember, he lost his Robo Bay earlier, and he's not rebuilt it, and he's actually swapping into what appears to be just Zealots and DTs and Stalkers and Immortals. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I really feel like getting a Robo Bay and going into Disruptors, it's like, hey, you're on a 4th base. It's kind of time to do that, but actually getting there is another story. There we go. Robo Bay does go down. Still such a scary army right now from the Terran. With +2 kicking in, that's a big scary army. And you got +2 attack. +1 armor does kick in. Oh, I like those force fields. Let's trying to just buy a bit of time here. He will lose a Phoenix though. Oh! 1 hit point. What can I say, guys? I'm a noob. Zealots are going to come on into this third base, and this is going to force GUMIHO quite all in. GUMIHO, one of these Terran players who does like to choose when the fight happens and commit to one big sharp attack, and he's going to go for it right now. Where's that battery overcharge? There it is. So he pulls back. The EMPs have been deadly so far, but unable to capitalize on it just yet. The Zealots are definitely causing a ruckus, but GUMIHO's still got a big army, and he's not too wounded yet. When this stim runs out, he's going to be very wounded though. And that's the big problem that he's running into right now. Even though he's doing some damage, cleaning out some Zealots, his bio's getting weak. I don't think it matters though. This Protoss ball just doesn't look that big. ASTREA's trying to build some more balls as his third base goes down, but the Zealots, dude, this is what I was talking about. GUMIHO does not defend the Zealot run-bys very well. He wants to throw everything into his push at the front. Oh, Vikings, they get kind of baited. They damage a Colossus, but a bunch of Vikings go down. And DTs are working on his army right now. Notice there's a DT there. It chases into scan, pulls back, and then does go for it. Oh! Big balls landing on that army, and this is a great fight for ASTREA, who does take out a lot of that army. He loses one of his disruptors, but he still has a Colossus standing, and that's a fantastic hold for ASTREA, keeping himself alive in this game. Now, catching all these units on the retreat is so massive. I really think if GUMIHO pulled back after killing that third, he could have regrouped and recovered, rebuilt some SCVs, and then he'd be in a great position. I think the worst thing you can do in TvP is overcommit. And what I mean, obviously it's such a, on its own, it's kind of like a very simple stay. Oh, if you just overcommit, it's bad. Doesn't, as silly as that sounds, it really is huge, because the Protoss players' whole strategy and how they use their army and their play, it really revolves around recognizing what the Terran is focusing on. So I think if you do damage like that, then you pull back, you save those units to use them in a later timing attack while recovering your economy. You're kind of counteracting the Zealot run by, recovering from it, and still getting set up for your next wave. But notice how GUMIHO looks kind of all in right now for a moment. Like, he didn't build SCVs. Now he's building 3 SCVs at a time, but he actually has 4 command centers, which means the planetary is not being used. I think he's forgotten to control group it. It's weird. Yeah, he's forgotten to throw it on his mutual control group, number 9. Whatever, he's got some custom group on number 9. And still a very close game. I don't know who's ahead or behind. ASTREA's ahead on tech. He's got DT Blink. He's up 3-1 upgrades, going to 3-2. So he's about half an upgrade ahead on the armor now. He's reversed the upgrade lead that Gumi had earlier. But his 4th is just rebuilt. So economically he's behind, and numbers-wise he's behind. And you've just got to look at it and say, well, 5 disruptors are so important right now. They are the lifeline, and ASTREA needs every single one of those to kick some ass. DTs are going to hit this base, and they could blink in and kill the turret, or they could just go for the natural, which might be more powerful, jumping on this army. Remember, when that patch comes out in a short while, we're going to have a delay on the attack, but this is still a pre-patch game, guys. Casting this live on the 15th of March. I believe the patch is coming out next week is what rumor says. Widowmine will get a very nice hit. No, it won't. Blink dodges it. Second Widowmine gets a good hit. But dude, 15 SCVs and he just fades away. Ooh, loses one more there. So the Widowmines do take out a couple DTs. Widowmines are normally so good at defending this sort of stuff. Oh, big EMPs come down, but yeah, you can't make this work as Gumi, and oof, a few Marauders go down. He has to back off and rebuild those SCVs, and this is a problem because it buys ASTREA a lot of time. Now the advantage, okay, GUMIHO's got to get out. No, he can't be attacking just one side at a time. His right side already pulled back. I like the threaten and the fade away, but with the Stalkers being emboldened by the fact that the other attack angle got defleeted, he jumps on it, shuts it down. Gumi's got to try and save these medevacs. The balls on the right side are keeping him back. He's going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4. Gumi's starting to take some bad trades. And this is what I said at the start of the series is GUMIHO loses momentum in the late game. And he does not play as well. And it feels like he keeps trying to force the all-in to work when it won't. And this is actually a good angle of fight. The battery in the back is definitely healing and keeping him up. And I think he's killed a bunch of valuable units. It's a good fadeaway for Gumi. He's going to go back in, but I don't think he has overwhelming numbers. Does he, though? He might. He does some good spreadies. That is the last disruptor shot. Now, does he have enough units to capitalize on it? Almost, but I think not quite, because the disruptors are starting to come off cooldown in just a few seconds. He's killed almost everything except the disruptors, though. Oh my god, this is actually pretty huge. He's clicking on the Nexus. I don't think that's the right call. I think he's got to keep fighting these balls. Gets a bunch of them. Oh my god, GUMIHO might just barely have this. He might just barely. I don't know, though. Oh, the DTs! They kill 18 more SCVs. As I said, he keeps committing, over-committing. Well, it's almost a victory, but it's just not quite enough. And I think against a guy like ASTREA, so good at doing the backstab while he deflects you, this does suddenly put ASTREA in a position where he didn't just survive, he's got a 5th base and a 6th going up while this happens. ASTREA is always investing in many different areas. So you do an attack like that against ASTREA, you need to really kill him. If you're taking damage from a run by behind it, you 100% need to kill him. You can't even kill a base or two. You kind of need to win the game there. As it is, ASTREA should be way ahead now. He's going to do some more damage with DTs while rebuilding at home. 2 Colossus. He's only got 1 Stalker. He's got very few units that shoot up. That 20 worker advantage doesn't lie though. And I like that the DTs keep not going for the planetary, because he feels like 8 DTs does a lot of damage, but killing a planetary is a bit crazy. It's a little bit wild. It's very hard to actually pull off. He sends 1 DT in, doesn't blink it, does set off a Widow Mine. There's more Widow Mines where that came from though. The next Widow Mine, and he does dodge that one. The SCV's trapped in the corner. ASTREA should probably just give this base up. There's no need for him to necessarily fight. He does have 6 bases, but losing those probes, unfortunate for him. Of course, GUMIHO taking even more deadly damage. GUMIHO down to 28 workers. ASTREA still at 53. ASTREA tries to defend the base, but with only 1 disruptor. This could be him getting baited out of position. And that base has been lifted. GUMIHO's feeling more and more all in with every moment that passes. And what do? Do you scan and use the Widow Mine? 2 Colossus are going to become 4 Colossus. So 1 minute from now, just under that, this is going to go from bad to worse for GUMIHO. Remember, there is still a 5th base up in the top left. ASTREA is rebuilding probes 5 at a time. And yeah, GUMIHO is definitely doing an issue. Doing it not the right way. Where I think he played a good game, but the fact that he was going Fusion Core and now he's making Advanced Ballistics, it feels like he's... he really wanted to have pre-planned timing attacks, and the most frustrating thing about playing TvP, I think, is that that is not the best way to play. At the top level, I think you kind of need to attack and then transition off it, and you need to keep switching your focus. I think we've all seen the 2 base all-in just get rewarded, right? Where you just go for it. First wave doesn't quite kill him. Second wave doesn't quite kill him. Third wave wins the game. And you're like, oh, okay. There are times where just going completely all-in does work, but I guess what I'm kind of getting at here is just that, like, it kind of feels to me like, yeah, it definitely feels to me a little bit more like you kind of just need to figure out, and I don't know, I'm struggling to explain this thought process, because it's like, ASTREA is an annoying player to play against as well, right? But if I think of like when Beyond's picked him apart, or Maru, or one of these guys, it usually comes in the form of them kind of dancing around, half committing to their pressure while also macroing behind it and kind of doing a little bit of everything at once. And there certainly are moments where they gear up for a sharp push, but then they're always like, they're never completely all in. They're always setting up for the next phase behind it, even if it's a bit of a belated transition. And it's just, I think it does take away ASTREA's ability to claw his way back into games, which he's so known for. And definitely at the end of this game, I'm going to rewind quickly and just check his Robo-Bay and Colossus timing. Because with the way his build order started, I really feel he should have had a Colossus out much earlier in this game. And I think if he did that, he would have like got his 3rd up earlier and really shut down the 3 racks and just been in a beautiful position. But we'll take a look at exactly how it went. He's got a split army now, does ASTREA. +3 armors coming out. He's going to build a Warp Prism there. He tried to build 2. Looks like it was a misclick because he cancels one of them. And GUMIHO's trying to build up the range libs, but on 35 SCVs, going range libs, this is like going 2 base Ultralisk or Broodlord. It's just, it takes so long for you to get this tech unit that you're like, well, they better not have an answer to this. Because if they do have an answer, I am so dead, you know? Oh, he's thinking about fighting it. He doesn't want to siege the libs until the fight really starts. Oh! Good disruptor shot. These libs, I think, could have sieged a bit further out with those circles. And these libs are very good if ASTREA chooses to fight into them. I think that's a big if, though. I don't think he's going to be making that mistake. Takes the rocks down to open up a smoother rotation path. ASTREA warping in more zealots. He wants to kill him right now. DT Zealot on the right side. That Bio Ghost should be able to do pretty well there. He does EMP the DTs. I think he EMP'd one of his own ghosts at the same time, but he takes him out. Oh, nice blink forward. And if you're not protecting your Liberators, that's what happens. They get taken down by Stalkers quick fast. Oh, GUMIHO, and look, now he's zoned out by the disruptors. He knows he can't go up into the balls to defend. So he's trying to go for a base trade, but ASTREA's already in his base. And ASTREA, by the way, guys, he's Protoss. He has this little ability called Recall. Might come in handy at a time like this. He's already in a fantastic position, killing SCVs, killing army before the battle even really begins. And he says, you know what? It's a base with 7 probes on it. It's not that important. Oh, Liberator's on the high ground. Does manage to get a Colossus. Does he go for the orbital? Looks like he chooses not to. And he doesn't have enough Stalkers, so it really is time to recall. The question is, which base are you recalling to? Because if he recalls on this, he's going to get blanketed in EMP. He's recalling... Oh, guys, he did not manually select the Nexus. ASTREA just did some noob shit. He just selected the Nexus hotkey and actually recalled to the bottom right. He had a lot of time to prepare for that recall, and yet he does the wrong angle on it. And that gives an extra base kill to GUMIHO. It makes GUMIHO probably okay with just running away now. GUMIHO's like, oh, I did actually just do a crazy amount of damage. Oh, he's going to go boost into the main? No, he's just going to run away. Okay. Oh, he is going to boost into the main. Oh, the whole army's out of position. Yeah, go for it, Gumi. Why not? Go for broke, bro. Okay, he's going to send an SCV to repair that orbital. ASTREA does have these bottom 2 bases. Workers are rallying down there. Dude, this is actually insane at this point. This is a huge problem. The Liberators. Wah. So 1 Liberator goes down, but not too bad. ASTREA really messed up by taking so long to recall. He needed to not recall on the army, but recall in front of that army. I think he could have recalled to this base, but definitely to that one. You can see he kind of misread the angle that GUMIHO was pushing towards. Now, the libs are +1. Twitch chat just pointed that out, so shout out to Twitch chat. Starduck, in fact, GM Protoss player. So that means they're not one-shotting the EMP'd Stalkers. Because remember, guys, Stalkers only have 80 hit points after their shields are gone. So with 4 armor, if you get 85 damage, yeah, with +2, even if they have +3 armor, you're still going to one-shot them. But you need to have that. So right now, if you shoot it, the Stalker's left on 4 hit points. You need one like Marine or Marauder shot to finish it off. So definitely a little unfortunate there. Remember, there is a big upgrade advantage for ASTREA as well. ASTREA's trying to rebuild this economy, but it's not able to get the finish right now. Definitely causing him some issues. Tries to blink out, but a bit of a derpy blink. The DT goes back in and dies. Lib comes in the bottom right, and does ASTREA notice it? I don't think he does. That's a pretty annoying siege. You're going to have to trade a few Stalkers. At least 1 or 2, I think, to kill that Lib. And Liberator harasses the bottom right. Big siege coming in on this side, though. And oh my gosh, Gumi, ow, eats a giant ball. And I don't know who's going to be shouting nuts in this game, guys, but definitely ate GUMIHO. Oof. Okay, it does take out the Lib for just 1 Stalker. Second one almost dies. You can see there, that would have been 2 Stalkers and damaging the 3rd one, if that Liberator had +2. Bio gets in. Guys, oh man, that's Templar Archives and the Robos. He's going to be tempted to stand here and fight, but the DTs can blink behind him, and he's already very wounded. Oh, this is actually a pretty decent fight for Gumi, bro, though. Kills a lot of that stuff. He's going to think about redropping there. Doesn't choose to do it. Bioarm, he catches some of the balls, but there's not enough units to capitalize. And GUMIHO does end up going down. GG. Well played. All right, guys. Let's go into game number 2. GUMIHO's opening up with a gas first. He's put his barracks off to the side, which is kind of interesting. And he does put his command center on the high ground. Ah, okay. So he realized in this scenario, number 1, Reaper's going to rally closer to the ledge. Number 2, because he's not going to... With a gas first, you can't really defend your command center from the early adept. So he's like, I know I have to put the command center on the high ground because it will otherwise get cancelled on the low ground. Or not cancelled, but the SCV will die building it. And that'll be an issue. You guys can check my Twitter if a few people asking about how I got injured and stuff. Sorry, we have 2 minute delay on, so definitely go check it out on my Twitter. Anyone watching this later on YouTube or anything. Let's just say it's been a shitty last few days, guys, but my back is behaving and no more muscle spasms today, so happy we can cast some StarCraft. Now that forward pylon does get spotted. I wonder what he was planning to do with that. I think he was just going to go for maybe a 3-gate pressure with a gateway on the front. But now he changes his mind, builds a Stargate after being scouted. So obviously having it scouted means he will not use that pylon. And actually Reaper gets a probe. I mean, he already killed the probe that was proxying. Now he gets one on this side of the map. Oh, this is really annoying for ASTREA. Now, thankfully, this does confirm the kill. Because if he jumps to the low ground, the Adept kills it. Shade gets it on the high ground. But losing 3 probes this early feels very bad. The only real consolation prize for ASTREA is the fact that he knows the command center is on the high ground. So GUMIHO has to float that down. That's always a bit of an awkward opening. And I think he feels pretty good about that. Now, on the other hand, GUMIHO saw Stargate. So because of that, he's building a Viking and probably a Cyclone immediately out of the factory. And that's going to shut down any Phoenix or Oracle play. I think because we see Oracle, I think we'll see a Twilight Council going down in a moment. No, he's already queued up another Oracle. Oh, wow. ASTREA's going to dive with Adept Oracle. Now, against a guy who's already building Cyclones and Vikings, I don't think that'll go too well. 2 Adepts can take on 4 Marines decently. Hellion will drive in, gets a kill, but then it does go down. That brings the total up to 4 probes, though. Pretty impactful early on. And definitely feels like we're going to see a bit of a commitment here. 3 gateways before Twilight. Wow. ASTREA, I think he's anticipating a big push out of GUMIHO, where GUMIHO just builds multiple Marines, Cyclones, Vikings, and goes for a big attack. Now, whether that's actually the case or not, we don't know. If he cuts Marine production, he could put down a pretty quick 3rd command center over here. We'll wait and see. Right now, the Marine production's pretty consistent. He's going to try and drop. There's no Phoenix building. GUMIHO doesn't know that, so this is a little bit of a dangerous play. And there we go. That 3rd command center does go down. As I said, cutting production on his buildings so that he can afford the minerals for that command center before the 5-minute mark. And Cyclone gets a lock on. But it's a shame he didn't send a Cyclone to the low ground to cut off the retreat. Now the Marine drop will go and deal with this pylon over here. Twilight and Forge comes down behind it. I think ASTREA is going to play... Oh, I don't know what he's going to play, guys, because he's building a Phoenix right now. I think he's just going to play Charge and build a few Phoenix as his only anti-air. It just feels like a bit of a budget situation because he wasn't planning to build Phoenix. He's gone double Oracle. Going double Oracle and only then building Phoenix means your anti-air is very late. And look at that. Oh, even just 5 Marines in a medevac is such a nuisance. The Oracles plus probes are pulled. Good laser beams. And that does deflect it. The Phoenix finally starting to shoot the medevac. Now this will break over here. ASTREA's forced to warp in some Stalkers. He's going to try and jump on top. The Marines do get trapped. I think it would be a good idea to try and chase this down. With the Shade on top of the Cyclones and then the Stalkers, that could be very nice. Now the Oracles are out of energy, so this is actually really cute. Look at this move from Gumi. He's going Oracle hunting. That's his only real purpose here, and he gets it. That should take it out. Oh, he does. Wow. My man. Gumi bro, dude. Gumi bro getting a really good start to this game. His 3rd's up. And look at that, guys. A lot of players go double Tech Lab, but because he realizes it's a long time till he wants to move out with his 3rd CC play and already investing in so many tech units, which have really got value, he just scans, he sees, yep, you're not even fully saturated on your 3rd, mine's already finished, which means I'm pretty even, maybe even ahead on economy. And I'll get shields after that. I'm going to go very Marine heavy. And against the guy who's probably going, you know, Zealot Charge Phoenix, which turns out he's not. It is actually Blink. That could be really useful. So the Adepts do shade in. They do cancel, though. Doesn't want to throw them away. Making sentries right now is ASTREA. I mean, that delays his tech even further. Is he going to play mass Blink Stalker Sentry? Zest sometimes in PvT will go for a mass Stalker Sentry all in with lots of force fields. But without any extra energy gathered up, that seems like a really shit move. I think, here's my theory, guys. I think ASTREA will drop a Robo or a Templar Archives any moment now. There we go, Robo. And I think what he does is he comes forward and he wants to shave off units with force fields and just pick off a few units, blink back, pick off a few units, blink back, and then quickly run home. Because he doesn't have a real proper reinforcement point, but that can pick off some units while his Adepts shade in, do some damage, slow his opponent down, and then he's going to go double Robo and Robo Bay. So second Robo Bay at the same time. Now, the Stalkers out in the middle of the map, they blink forward and get a Cyclone, but he will lose at least 1 Stalker for that Cyclone. Looks like he gets out of there, though. GUMIHO pushing on forwards. You can see Gumi has now got 2 extra Tech Labs. So he ends up with the same number of Tech Lab reactor mix as most players do. It's just he starts off with an extra reactor, 1 less Tech Lab. Ooh. Okay, here we go. We've got Widow Mines there. Oh, wow. Very nice. That one does go down. Zealots trying to engage into the Marines and the Vikings coming in. A very decisive push for GUMIHO. It's a huge commitment, though, and the force fields may be able to punish him. All those sentries go down, though. The question is, can you even escape? GUMIHO, oh, he's still hanging around. I'm kind of surprised, but he's got more Marines and Marauders coming in. And these Stalkers do not have any shield battery healing. Dude, I think this is a kill move. I think GUMIHO's got him off that fantastic start, and those Oracles really not being a good choice. After your Stargate's been spotted, I wouldn't have minded single Oracle into quick Twilight Blink. I think that would have worked out, honestly, better for ASTREA than what he did end up doing. Oh, he's dead. He's dead. GUMIHO's just got him, guys. Desperation Adept counterattack goes in. Of course, ASTREA will try to hang on and come back into this, but losing that battery before it could do its work, his army being a little out of position, and GUMIHO just finds a way to kill him, tying up the series 1-1. All right, guys, going into the next game, we've got an early probe scout for ASTREA, and it's a double gas build for GUMIHO. Psystorm's GUMIHO, an absolute bro. Love that they picked him up as well, Psystorm. Straight back out of the military, they're like, bam, rejoin the team instantly. Of course, ASTREA up here is going Cybercore before Nexus, which he's going to be, of course, very happy about. I think he might not have been planning to do that, but since the probe saw that it was a one-base opening, he did see the double gas, right? Yeah, he saw the double gas. So he knows that's the best way to do it. And yes, guys, we just heard he's got the Diva voice pack on. Let's watch from ASTREA's camera for a minute and see if there's any more beautiful Diva voice lines that we get to hear there. For those of you, let me know in the comments in the chat. What is your favorite voice pack and why is it Diva? I just think it's such a great voice pack. There's so much cringe packed into it. Oh, thank you, Luckies. Fet well soon. I'll fet well soon, mate. I appreciates that.
The firstborn shall persevere.
Adept there. Okay, so Adept's gonna shade out. Stalker on the way. So this is interesting, guys. We haven't seen Tech just yet, and it looks like he's just gonna play Twilight. Oof. Okay, guys, so what ASTREA is doing here in game 3 is like very risky. He's just doing a completely stock standard build against a guy who's playing like a very committed one-basey build. Now, he doesn't get the Reaper kill, but he also doesn't lose the Adept. This Hellion coming out maybe a little later than it could have by just a few seconds, but either way, it's just a 2 Reaper Hellion pressure, and this is the worst case scenario for GUMIHO. Doing 2 Reaper Hellion, because this is kind of a light pressure, into a guy who's just playing really standard, his only change to his build is that shield battery. He's thrown down that shield battery just as a little bit of insurance. Now, that Adept should go down here, but the question is, will he do any probe damage on top of it? You see, the Hellion's gone down, and now the Stalker can push back, and an Adept for a Hellion, obviously, technically, 25 resources more value, but you've got to remember that you've done a one-base build as the Terran. So just getting that, it's not really anything to feel great about. The Reaper's still bouncing around, unable to get a scout. Now, interestingly, tank medevac. And a third gas? Okay, what the hell are you doing, GUMIHO? Guys, GUMIHO is going to do I assumed it's a tank all-in, but I'm also seeing that third gas, and I'm going, really? Is he going to cut SCVs? What is this? Is he going to put a tank here, and then where's he going to put the tank here? I'm so confused. What a bit, or does he just drop the tank? And it's just, oh, the tank's just a good unit for fighting, but also I can just drop it in your base? He sent it up to this top side. Interesting. Okay, very fascinating. He's going to go Cloak Banshees. I'm pretty sure GUMIHO is playing mech in this game. He doesn't have to necessarily, but I think we're going to see a Cyclone out of that factory. Maybe another tank. Reaper's going to run in the front door and try to distract. None of them die just yet. The drop in the main, no shield battery up there. And guys, there's only 4 gateway units out. Remember, the Adept died already. Oh, he targeted the tank on the center of the probes. Gets another shot on the probes. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys, 11 probes killed? Dude. The tank, if it sieges up, it's like a Widow Mine that keeps shooting. And damn, man, I told you guys ASTREA's build was kind of greedy. Well, he had a good start to the defense, but he just took massive damage to something no one does, which is just a random 4 Marine tank drop. Oh my god. Okay, so he's building tanks, so it's tanks for safety, more Marines. He might just follow up with another big Marine tank push. He does get a bit supply blocked. After having done that early damage, if I was in GUMIHO's shoes, guys, I'd be feeling pretty good about that. Now, he is floating a lot of minerals, though, and he's not building Marines right now, so I got to say, okay, it's either 3rd CC right now, or 2 more barracks. You got to pick one. Okay, there we go. Third CC goes down a lot later than it could have. Of course, that's kind of an afterthought. With this sort of build, guys, it's really about just pushing, getting a siege here. If you can get rid of the gateway and the robo, you just win this game. And honestly, I don't know how ASTREA is going to stop him, because ASTREA has no idea that this is coming. And I said before that GUMIHO has a way of just killing ASTREA. Even though I feel like ASTREA is often the better player, I feel like there's something about the weird, unpredictable styles that GUMIHO brings out that give ASTREA so much trouble, man. Look at that. Battery overcharge heal, battery overcharge heal. Too late, too late. He's going to try and intercept reinforcements with some Stalkers, but he's already lost his Robo. Now, he does have 3 Observers out, which is very, very good. And the Stalkers, with the shield battery overcharge, they do some decent healing, but... Oh, he blinks on the right side. One tank falls, another tank will fall. The Banshee... No, it will not. The Stalkers pull back. Oh, that's Gigi. And my internet dies? Are you kidding me? Who is it? No, it's not me. It's not me. And we're back into it. But guys, I don't know, man. This feels like too little too late. Those Stalkers are going down. And how the hell did that just happen? What was this? Like, honestly, I've never seen a bit. Like, what was that? So it was 2 Reaper Hellion, and then you're normally expecting maybe like a Widow Mine drop or something, right? Just because that's what everyone does. Maybe. I guess technically they could be like a Hellion drop follow-up. But essentially, ASTREA just didn't know what he was up against, right? So after the early trade there, and he's just skimping on his unit production a little bit, guys. Remember that his second gateway is quite late because his shield battery delayed it as well. And he goes straight for a 3rd base off 2 gates without even building a robo. So let's be real, guys. ASTREA was being immensely greedy. And just because you deflected the first Reaper Hellion push, you didn't really kill much. GUMIHO does have his tech structures up really early. The thing is, ASTREA's build does really well. If you come in with a Widow Mine drop, he can just defend by pulling probes and splitting them up. And then he's got such a quick 3rd up that he's way ahead. But I love the way this happened. So look at this drop one more time. And let's see. So the Reapers are going to lure those Stalkers down here. And that's a big mistake for ASTREA to not pull those back, man. He really should have pulled those back up here to defend this. And then just the fact that this tank sieged up. And he pulled the probes both a little bit late. And he pulled them into the corner. Whereas he should have ran them just directly to the natural, I think. So a bit of a mistake. Let's watch this once again in the main. Because look at this from ASTREA's point of view. He's got the big red dot on his vision, but he's just not noticing it. He pulls his units away. He's still not noticing. This is a very slow reaction for sure. And then he still hasn't pulled his probes. Now he pulls his probes. Oh, yeah, this was really nasty. And I think he was pulling to the left because he didn't want to take the big tank splashes. He ends up taking some pretty big damage, man. That was devastating. And from there, you've got an ASTREA who's still just trying to get back into that big economic lead. And he's up against the Terran that's doing nothing but building units. 0 tech progression or follow-up. There's no 2nd and 3rd barracks. Stim and shields would be literal miles away. And ASTREA's building observers and probes only without a spotting unit on the map. He needed to get a Stalker or something forward to try and see kind of what was going on out there. But yeah, I think the Banshee might have even shown itself to him, right? Because this Banshee comes up and kills the probe. So he knows it's Banshees, and he's thinking about, oh, I need to be covering my mineral lines from Cloaked Banshees. So ASTREA, even more so, is worried about defending at home rather than defending a frontal push. So just by showing the Banshee and clearing up the vision, this actually gets ASTREA to be even more defensive. And against this push, you do not want to be defensive. You want to get out there and be aggressive and force those tanks to siege up far away from your base. But if this sort of push arrives here without you spotting it, you're pretty much already dead. Very well played by GUMIHO. That was a sick way to finish off this series.